welcome to Hope, Faith, and Joy Daily Devotion with me, Pastor Amanda. We are continuing to go right through all of our plagues, and we have 5, 6, and 7 to look at today. And what we really see is a lot of a similar theme still playing out. And there's the good and the bad about that. I mean, for some of those people who are reading and having a hard time with it, you're like, oh my goodness, why is this happening? We're seeing the same thing over and over. But what I also see in it is how God will continually both come to our rescue. And so we see that. So God's continually never giving up on the Israelite people. I'm going to keep trying, keep trying. And then there's the fact of it too that when we've hardened our hearts like Pharaoh, God's going to keep trying to work on us too. God's going to again and again try to come after us and be in this process with us of engaging one another. And we see this happening. We see it both in that God keeps going, I'm saving the people, I'm going to get them free. But then he's also engaging Pharaoh directly in this process. And it gets to a point where it's really like the Lord almost is like, I don't know what else I can do with you now. But we have another theme that also plays out. So first of all, for those of you who need to know, like to know, the fifth plague is when the livestock are all diseased. And so we have that happening. So now it's going now into the economy is what's happening. The economy of Egypt is now getting affected by these plagues. And then we have these boils that comes, so it's a skin issue. And we find out that even the magicians are affected by this one. So we have one more group of people that are being included in experiencing this. And then the seventh plague in this chapter is thunder and hail. And we see some interesting things happening with this. A complete warning is given. I mean, it's more of a massive warning than some of the other ones. It's just simply like, send this plague. But you're warned. Like, you're going to have to get your livestock put inside. You need to bring all of your field workers into the house. Like, you need to protect. Like, they're given an option, an opportunity to be able to protect from this storm that's coming. And we have this really interesting bit that says some of the officials listened and did just that. Like, they're like, wait a second, we've had all this going on. And so some of the people actually did respond and protect them. But then it says there was others that did not. They're like, whatever, it's just a joke, it's a hoax, whatever. And so we see that more and more people, though, are starting to experience it and responding differently. We also see in here that part of this, too, I don't know if it's the right way to say it or anything, but, when you read your commentaries and everything, you see God's ego playing out in this. So we have that God's like recognizing that part of the reason some of this is happening is so that God can prove that God is the creator, that God is the one who has all of this land, and it's not Pharaoh's creation. Because remember, Pharaoh was considered to be a son of God too. He was the sun god, and so there's this sense that the Lord is going, you aren't who, the sun god. You are just as much a creation as anybody else. And so as I was reading one commentary, this is also, again, a God who stands for the marginalized, for those who are oppressed. And it's kind of like God against the establishment, because Pharaoh was representative of the establishment, of the ruling people. And so there's also this clash of the poor and the oppressed with the establishment. And we see very clearly that God is on the side of those who need someone to look out for them and protect them. So we see all these little different turns and bits of character and parts of aspects of who God is, what God stands for. And yes, we are going to go up against one of the hardest things to understand. We might not understand about God, but this sense of control over life and death. But that's for another day, another chapter. And so, but today we find that they are given opportunities to change and move on. And we have this interesting moment at the end of chapter 9 that Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said to them, "This time I have sinned. The Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. Pray to the Lord. Enough of God's thunder and hail. I will let you go. You need to stay no longer." So we have this moment where Pharaoh is like, "Okay, I'm done," and everything's ruined. He sees how everything's ruined and everything. But as soon as it all stops again, as soon as everything's back to normal, it says he sinned once more and hardened his heart, he and his officials. So the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he would not let the Israelites go, just as the Lord had spoken through Moses. So it's kind of this kind of sad moment. Really, it's a sad moment. Oh my goodness, I think he's done it. He's finally changed. And no. I mean, he even had this confession. And you know, I wish I could be a psychologist in this moment for Pharaoh. Like what's going on? Were you just trying to play a game? Were you really honestly seeing your sinfulness? Or did you just... But I also think this shows to the human nature that we know we've done wrong sometimes, but then we fall back into our old bad habits. I mean, that's definitely... we know it's wrong. We know we shouldn't, and all of that. We can even tell that to people. Like, we're no longer even hiding from it. We're just like, no, it's what I... But we've gotten ourselves into a place where we just can't stop that. And so that's important for us to be aware of where have we hardened our heart? That's kind of been the question for a while, and it'll still be our question. And I think we do have to attend to that question quite a bit on a regular basis of what are we currently hardening our heart to? Even that we can name that it's bad, but we're not willing to make the changes needed to make it really happen in our lives. And so that's a good reflection for today. So we still have a few more plagues to go, and so thanks for joining me for today's plagues, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with Hope, Faith, and Joy Daily Devotion. Have a beautiful day.